Okay. So let's start with Monday's concept itself. Okay. Typically, when you if I have to call, let's say, a plumber to my house, okay, and I say, okay, fine, I want this pipeline to be rectified, and then I ask him how long it takes for him to rectify this pipeline, and he says it takes him 1 hour. So it means that the work that I'm talking about, okay, that this person is supposed to do is a work which is equal to 1 man hour, because he's saying he will take 1 hour to complete the job. So work can always be defined in 3 categories. Commonly used category is man days. Okay, that's a commonly used category. The second category that people use is man hours or man hour. Very less or rarely you will find people using man months or man years. Okay, these are two categories which is hardly used. Now, what does it mean? Why is work defined in terms of man days and man hours? So that basically tells me, it gives me the quantum of work, and I can then decide at what pace I want the work to happen. So thank you, Rekha. You're the only one whose video is on. So I appreciate. Okay. So yeah, dear. Thanks. So basically, now that makes I also feel like switching on the video. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. Okay, right. So that makes me decide how I want the work to get completed. So let's put an example. Let's say that I want to construct a house, okay? Construct a house. And I call an architect or an engineer and ask him how long it takes to construct this house. So he says 60 man days. Basically, what he means that if there is one man who's going to work, only for constructing the house, if there is one man working, he will take 60 days to complete the job. This is what he means. Okay. So that's why he said 60 man days. So, which means that if there are 2 men working, will they require 60 days to complete the job? No,
30
they will
days.
require 30 days to complete the job.
30, 30.
Right? Yeah, 30 days to complete the job. So what does this mean? It means that the number of men into the number of days required is nothing but the total job that I have to do. So if I want this house to be constructed in 10 days, then I will require how many people? I will require 6 men working on it. So please understand that all of this is only theoretical. This is not practically possible. Okay? This is not practical. This is only theoretical. Why? Because if I put 60 men, in how many days will my house be completed?
1 day.
Not possible, right? It's not possible to complete the house in 1 day. So this is only theory, but not a
Yes, sir.
practical. This is not practically. So this is just an idea to be given to people, saying that this is the quantum of work that I have to do. Okay. So before we get into the mandates, positive work and negative work, we need to have understanding on relation between 3 entities: men, work, and days or time. We need to understand relationship between these 3. So let's put it in this way. Let's say I require 10 men who will work for 7 days and complete a work. Let's say the work is X. So 10 men will work for 7 days and complete a job. Now, if I increase my number of men with job remaining the same, what will happen to the days? Will I require more days or will I require less days?
Reduce.
Less days.
So I require less days. So what can I say? I can say that men are inversely proportional to days when work is kept constant. The more the men, the less the days, the less the men, the more the days. Okay. Similarly, if I keep my men constant, I have total number of 10 people only, but I increase my work. What will happen to days?
Increase.
I will now require more days to complete the job, right? Because my number of people are still the same. So I can say that work is directly proportional to days when men are kept constant. Similarly, in the final case, when the days are kept constant, that is, you have to complete the number of work in 10 days only or 7 days only. And if you increase the work, then your number of men required will also increase. So men is also directly proportional to work when the days are kept constant. I hope all of you are clear with this relation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we can always combine. So there are 3 kinds of variations. Okay. I do not know whether I have told you this in ratio proportion variation topic, but those who attended, but there are 3 kinds of variations. One is a direct variation, which you have seen here, right? Work is directly proportional to days, work is directly proportional to men. So that is a direct proportion. One is inverse proportion, which you see here in the first category. Men are inversely proportional to days. And the third one is a joint proportion. Joint proportion is when you combine more than one proportion. When you combine more than one proportion, that becomes joint proportion. So how does it happen? So when I say work is directly proportional to days, when I say work is directly proportional to men, since the unit in the left-hand side is same, I can combine the 2 proportion and say work is directly proportional to men into days. Remember what I am doing. I am not multiplying. I am combining the proportions. You're very important to understand. We are not multiplying the proportions. We are combining the proportions. So we are saying that work is directly proportional to men and work is directly proportional to days, right? And thus work is directly proportional to men into days. Are we clear? Yes. Now, what is this sign called as? The sign is called as sign of
Equal.
proportionality. Okay, it's called as sign of proportionality. We cannot solve anything by having a sign of proportionality. So what we usually do is we remove the sign of proportionality and make it an equal sign. But when we do that equal sign, what do we bring? We bring a constant. Yes, we bring a constant. Okay, which now is called as constant of proportionality. I hope you are clear till here. So we use this concept of W
Yes,
is equal to K into M into D to solve questions which are related to man days. Okay. So if I have to, I'm assuming you guys are taking a screenshot or at least writing it down, either of them. So, okay. Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm erasing this sheet. So where do we use this and how do we use this? Okay, so the question can be as simple as, very simple question is that there is a work which 30 men can do in 20 days. Now the question will be, if twice the work has to be done by 15 men. If twice the work has to be done by 15 men, then how many days will I require? So let's assume this is the question. I know that work is nothing but K into men into days. Okay? Work is nothing but K into men into days. So what is W in this case? I do not know. So let's say work is work. K I do not know. But what is men? 30. What is the days? 20. This is one equation. Second equation. What is work? It's 2 times of W because the work is twice. 2W is the work. What is K? I don't know. But what is the number of men? 15. How many days? That is what I need to find. This is the second equation.
Yes, sir.
So let's divide these two equations. Let's divide 1 and 2. What do I get when I divide 1 and 2? W divided by 2W equal to K into 30 into 20 divided by K into 15 into D. K and K cancel because it's common. W and W also will cancel because it's common, right? So what do I have? If I cross multiply, I will have 15 into D is equal to 2 into 30 into 20. So D is how much?
80.
80. So I require 80 days to complete this job. Are we all clear with this kind? So this is where man days come into picture. So when you have more than one man working, okay? So how do I uh, capture this kind of a question? When you have group of people working for certain set number of days, that's when your man days concept comes into picture. When you have one man working for certain number of days, we will not bring man days into picture. We will bring efficiency into picture. We will bring work into picture. But when there is a group of people working for certain number of days, that's when we will bring man days concept into picture. Okay. So I'll do the first question that is there so that you understand how this works. Now the question says 6 men or 8 women can level a field in 42 days. So let's stop till here. Let's not read further. So I have 6 men or 8 women who can complete a job in 42 days. Means 6 men can also complete a job in 42 days. 8 women can also complete the job in 42 days. So first and foremost is I need to find out what is my work. Okay. So my work is nothing but 6 into 42, or my work is nothing but 8 into 42. Do you realize that the work is different? And do you know why? Can you tell me why the work is different? Anyone?
8 women
Number
and
of
6
persons
men.
changing.
And more.
Work is different because in one category, I am considering only the men. And in second category, I am considering only the women. Did you understand this? You will not mix the two of them. Okay? Clear? Why we do not mix is there is one assumption in time and work, and that assumption is men, woman, child. If there are 3 different people doing some work, okay, remember child doesn't mean child labor. Okay, child work can also be eating something can also be a work for a child. Okay, so when 3 different category of people are doing work, we always assume that efficiency of all of them is different. Each one of them, that is each child, has a different efficiency compared to each woman, who also has a different efficiency compared to each man. Did you understand this assumption? Efficiency means the rate in which they do the work. Okay, it's assumed that these are different, and that's why we have to consider 2 to 3 different categories. So that's the main reason why work here is 6 into 42 and work here is 8 into 42. तो अब इसको solve कैसे करेंगे? How do we solve this? The information that is given, 6 men or 8 women. Can someone tell me what does this actually mean? Can you tell me what does 6 men or 8 women mean?
At a particular time, only men are working, and at the different time, only women are working.
Okay, so that's one. Is there any other information? So I'll give you a situation. Let's say these 6 men are working, okay? And suddenly one day they stop working, they go off. Now you have only women in your hand. Listen carefully. These 6 men were working. On one particular day, they stopped working and they left. Now you have only women in your hand. Tell me, tomorrow, how many women will you put into the work?
All of them?
नहीं, तुम्हारे पास बहुत सारे हैं. तुम्हारे पास 30 वुमेन है.
more than
मान लो.
men. कितना men था उससे थोड़ा ज्यादा डालेंगे women को.
बस वासवी, कितने मेन थे तुम्हारे पास?
Yes sir.
6 men, right?
Yes sir.
6 men और 8 women का मतलब ये होता है that what job 6 men can do, the same job 8 women can do. See the number of days the work is taking to complete, 42 days, right? Both of them are taking 42 days to complete the job, right? So what does it
Yes,
mean?
sir.
जितना काम 6 लड़के कर सकते थे एक दिन में, उतना ही काम 8 लड़कियां कर रही हैं एक दिन में. ठीक है? So now, if 6 men stop the work and go out, you can actually from tomorrow replace the 6 men with 8 women. आपका उतना ही काम चलता रहेगा दिन का. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to
Yes, sir.
understand this, all of you? ना आपका काम बढ़ेगा, ना आपका काम घटेगा. You will neither have an increase in the job, you will neither have decrease in the work. You will have the same quantity of work happening, क्योंकि आपने 6 लड़कों के अलावा के बजाय 8 लड़कियों को डाला है. अगर आपने 7 लड़कियां डाला होता तो क्या होता?
Number of days increase हो जाते.
नंबर ऑफ डेज इंक्रीज हो जाता, क्योंकि आपका जॉब कम हो रहा है. और उसी जगह पे अगर आप 9 लड़कियों को डालते तो क्या होता?
Number of days कम हो जाते.
नंबर ऑफ डेज कम होता. क्यों कम होता? क्योंकि ज्यादा लड़कियां आ गई अभी, राइट? तो काम आपका ज्यादा हो रहा है. लड़कों के मुनाफा, आपका काम लड़कियों ज्यादा कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो अगर इक्वल काम करना है तो कितने लड़कियों को डालना पड़ेगा मुझे? 6 लड़कों के अलावा आई हैव टू पुट 8 गर्ल्स, और 8 गर्ल्स के अलावा आई हैव टू पुट 6 गाइस. आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इंफॉर्मेशन?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? तो 6. सो व्हेनेवर a question says x men और y women, उसका मतलब ये होता है कि x men को अगर मैंने निकाल दिया तो मैं उनके जगह y women डाल सकता हूं. मेरा उतना ही काम चलेगा जितना चलता था, ना ज्यादा ना कम. और अगर y women है, I can remove those y women and replace them with x men. I will still have the same amount of work. Now we are clear. Great. So now I will go into further detail. So if 6 men is equal to 8 women in terms of efficiency is what I am talking about. So if 6 men is equal to 8 women, then can I say 3 men is also equal to 4 women? क्या ये बोला जा सकता है?
Yes, sir.
है ना?
Yes, sir.
क्योंकि मैंने दोनों जगह से 2 में डिवाइड कर दिया, बस इतना ही किया है, राइट। सो आई कैन से 3 men आर इक्वल टू 4 women, ठीक है। और कैन आई से, हालांकि प्रैक्टिकली नहीं होता है, लेकिन कैन आई से दैट 1.5 men इज इक्वल टू 2 women?
यस सर।
Yes, sir.
एफिशिएंसी के हिसाब से हाँ, रियलिटी के हिसाब से ना, क्योंकि
नो
1.5 men कहां से लाऊंगा मैं, राइट। तो रियलिटी के हिसाब से तो नहीं है, लेकिन एफिशिएंसी के हिसाब से तो है, ठीक है। सो आई कैन से 1.5 men इज इक्वल टू 2 women. अब देखते हैं सवाल क्या पूछा। व्हाट इज द क्वेश्चन? द क्वेश्चन सेज हाउ मेनी डेज कैन 9 men and 2 women together complete the same work? So I'm talking about 9 men and 2 women. अब यहां पे क्या हो रहा है, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर? आप दो ऐसे लोगों को कंबाइन कर रहे हो जिनके अलग अलग एफिशिएंसी। हम कभी भी दो ऐसे लोगों को कंबाइन नहीं कर सकते जिनके अलग अलग एफिशिएंसी, ठीक है। तो हमें इसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? या तो हमें 9 men और एंड 2 women को, सारे के सारों को men में कन्वर्ट करो, मतलब सिर्फ men काम करें, या सिर्फ वुमेन काम करें। कैसे? 9 men एंड 2 women को मैं कन्वर्ट कर सकता हूं 9 men and 1.5 men। सही गलत?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सही, क्योंकि 2
Yes,
women
sir.
का यहां पे मेरे को मालूम है 2
हम्म
women इज इक्वल टू 1.5, ठीक
हम्म
है। तो मैंने सबको एक ही एफिशिएंसी में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, यानी कि मेन की एफिशिएंसी, या दूसरा चीज वुमेन का एफिशिएंसी। तो 2 वुमेन के साथ मुझे 9 men चाहिए। 9 men तो नहीं ला सकता मैं, तो कितने वुमेन लाऊंगा? 12 वुमेन। सही है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कितना था, 3 men इज इक्वल टू
3
4
men is
वुमेन, है
equal to
ना।
4 women.
तो 9 आने के लिए मुझे 3 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा इसको। तो जैसे ही ये 3 से मल्टीप्लाई हो गया, ये भी 3 से मल्टीप्लाई हो गया, 3 गुना 4 12।
यस सर।
तो मुझे या तो, सो व्हाट डज इट मीन? इट मीन्स दैट ईदर आई शुड हैव 10.5 men और आई शुड हैव 14 women, ठीक है। ऑल ऑफ यू क्लियर टिल हियर?
Yes, sir.
ग्रेट। लेकिन सवाल अभी भी खत्म नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि सवाल ये पूछ रहा है कि कितने दिन लगेंगे। सवाल ये नहीं पूछ रहा कि कितने लोग लगेंगे, सवाल पूछ रहा है कितने दिन लगेंगे, राइट। तो अब हम देखते हैं कितने दिन लगते हैं, ठीक है। तो आई एम टेकिंग इट वेरी स्लो सो दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, क्योंकि एक बार ये समझ में आ गया ना, बहुत आसान हो जाता है। तो अब मैं थोड़ा इसको इरेज कर रहा हूं। चलो, तो अब बताओ मेरे पास कौन है, who's with me in terms of men and in terms of women? क्या हो क्या रहा है भाई? ओके, who's with me in terms of men? मेरे पास 10.5 men है। And who's there with me in terms of women? I have 14 women. चलो, अगर सिर्फ men को पकड़ा, अगर सिर्फ men को पकड़ा, तो 6 men कितने दिन में काम कर पाते थे? 42 days में, राइट।
42
और यही काम मुझे ये 10.5 लोग करेंगे, यही काम, करेक्ट। क्योंकि सवाल देख लो क्या बोला है, इन हाउ मेनी डेज कैन 9 men and 2 women टुगेदर कंप्लीट द सेम
Same work.
वर्क, मतलब दे हैव टू डू द सेम वर्क। तो ये जो वर्क 6 men and 42 women कर रहे थे, यही काम 10.5 लोग करेंगे, सॉरी 6 men 42 डेज में कर रहे थे, यही काम करेंगे 10.5 लोग कितने दिन में? ये हो गया एक। वही मैंने अगर वुमन दिया तो कैसे लिखेंगे? हाउ विल आई राइट दिस इक्वेशन नाउ? कैन
8
एनीवन टेल
into
मी?
42. 8 into 42 is equal to 14 into D.
8 into 42 is equal to 14 into D. Why am I
So
taking 8
because
into 42?
8 women can complete the work in the 42 days, no?
Correct, because I'm considering only woman here. तो मुझे, बिकॉज सिर्फ वुमन कंसिडर हो रहा है, तो मुझे यहाँ पे भी सिर्फ वुमन ही लेना पड़ेगा। बोला था ना, मिक्स नहीं कर सकते,
Yes, sir.
राइट। तो या तो तुम इसे सॉल्व करो डी के लिए, या इसे सॉल्व करो डी के लिए, दोनों में सेम ही आंसर आएगा आपको, अलग
24.
आंसर नहीं आएंगे, ठीक है। तो 14 3s are 42, डी इज इक्वल टू 3 8s are
24.
24। Guys, are we clear with what we
Yes,
have
sir.
done? खुशबू, समझ में आया? हाँ,
Yes, sir.
मुंडी हिला लो, समझ में आ जाता है, मेरे को मालूम हो जाता है, शक्ल दिख रहा है, टेंशन नहीं है, मुंडी हिला लो बस. ओके, राइट. So this is one kind. So this is where we will use the concept of man days. Now remember this, that whether there is a man working, whether there is a woman working, whether there is a child working, जो भी काम कर रहा है, gender, irrespective of gender, the name is always man days. ठीक है? अब because woman is working, don't change it to woman days. And कल को दादाजी काम करेंगे, then you will say grandfather days. No, it will always be man days. That's it. Okay, irrespective of who is working, man, woman, child, anyone, doesn't matter. चलो, let's look into this. ये थोड़ा आसान है comparatively, but read the question. 10 men can complete a work in 18 days. तो जैसे ही यहां पे आपका खत्म होता है, फर्स्ट थिंग आई वांट यू गाइस टू डू दिस एज अ हैबिट. एज सून एज मैथ्स, नेवर रीड एज ए रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन. ठीक है? इंग्लिश की तरह मत पढ़ो मैथ्स को कभी भी. पहला स्टेटमेंट पढ़ते ही क्या वर्क है तुम्हारा? डू यू रियलाइज व्हाट द वर्क इज?
180.
राइट, 10 into 18. करेक्ट
180.
अनुष्का? सो दिस इज योर वर्क. ओके, नाउ तो ये आपका वर्क हो गया, ये लिख के रख लो, ये तुम्हारा वर्क हो गया. नाउ आफ्टर 6 days, ये आफ्टर 6 days का मतलब क्या हुआ? तो पहले 6 दिन कितने लोगों ने काम किया था?
10.
10.
राइट, ऑल 10 men were working for 6 days, है ना? आफ्टर 6 days का मतलब है पहला 6 दिन तो 10 लोग ही काम किए. चलो, सो फर्स्ट 6 days 10 लोगों ने 6 दिन का काम किया, तो कितना काम खत्म हो गया मेरा? 60. ठीक है? द क्वेश्चन इज आफ्टर 6 days 5 more men joined. तो अब तुम्हारे हाथ में कितने लोग हैं?
15.
15.
5 more men joined. तो अभी तुम्हारे पास 15 men है. ठीक है? अब ये 15 men, they should work for certain number of days. करेक्ट? ये मुझे ढूंढना है कि कितने दिन काम करेंगे. लेकिन ये कौन सा काम खत्म करेंगे, अब ये बताओ.
180.
नहीं, 180 में से 60 काम तो हो गया ना पहला 6 दिन.
Oh, 120. 120.
राइट, 60 काम तो पहला 6 दिन 10 लोगों ने कर दिया, तो फिर वो क्यों करेंगे फिर से, है ना? तो 180 में से 60 काम हो गया, तो बचा कितना? 120. तो डी क्या हो गया? 120 by 15, 8.
8.
So now when you are marking the answer, there are two things that you always have to keep in mind. This is for everyone who's listening. Before marking the answer, always read the question once again, because the question now says, in how many days will the remaining work be completed? So remaining work तो 8 दिन में ही complete हो रहा है. Sometimes क्या होता है कि क्वेश्चन ये दिखाई देगा कि in how many days the entire work is completed. तो तब तुम 8 नहीं डाल सकते हो, तब तुम्हें 8 प्लस पहला 6 दिन, यानी कि टोटल 14 days डालना पड़ेगा. Did we understand?
Yes, sir.
Stuti?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that.
Okay. So where did you lose out, Stuti? The entire
I
thing?
lost
You want me to explain you the entire thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So first thing that is, so when you read the first statement, 10 men can complete a work in 18 days, you got to first put the total work. Now, what is your total work? 10 men for 18 days, your total work is 180. Is this clear, Stuti? Right.
Yeah,
Now,
that's clear.
now, after 6 days. So what does after 6 days mean typically? That first 6 days, the 10 men were working, correct? So if the first 6 days, the 10 men were working, what is the work that happened? 60.
60.
What was the work that you were supposed to do? 180. But you have already done 60. So what is your remaining work?
120.
120 is your remaining work. Now this 120 remaining work is supposed to be done by men into days, correct? Now I need to
Yes.
figure out. So how many men do you have in your hand? You initially had 10. And now you have 5 more men joining. So what is the total number of people in your hand now?
15.
15. And these 15 people are supposed to complete the work in some days.
Yes.
That value is what you got to search. So what is the D value? 120 divided by 15. What is 120 divided by 15? 8. So you will complete the work now in 8 days.
Okay.
Understood? Right. Now,
Yeah.
if you guys see, there is an information given here. All men are equally efficient. Even if this information is not given in a question, we will always assume that how many ever people are working in a job, each one of them have an equal efficiency unless and until it is stated in the question. So if my statement, if my question, or if I give a statement, as I see 4 people in my screen right now. So if I say Khushbu, Stuti, Anushka and Adya together can complete a job in 10 days. If I give only this statement, it means that each one of you do the same amount of work every day. ये मेरा assumption होगा. ठीक है? Unless and until I specify. अगर changes हैं, then I will specify. Then कैसे specify करूंगा? I'll say Khushbu can do twice the job Stuti can do. Right? Or Anushka can do thrice the job Khushbu can do. So I will now start giving you the efficiency comparison. अगर वो नहीं दिया, then it is overall always assume that the efficiency is same. I hope you are all clear now.
Yes, sir.
Great. Someone said 12. Who said 12? Who's this? कौन है भाई जो 12 type किया? Yashika, why did you type 12? Yashika. What happened? Why did you type 12 as an answer? You lost somewhere? Okay, fine. So I'm proceeding. I'll put the next question on the screen. If the output of 3 men is equivalent to that of 4 women who can complete a job in 12 days working together, how much time would 5 women and 3 men together take to complete the same job? So ideally, I always do this and see whether it really makes sense for you and if you want to do the same. Okay. Output